What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today, what we have on tap, I've been following this story for a few years. There's this guy, his name is Jason Vuvicic, and he's up in Alaska, and they call him the Alaskan Avenger. So basically, this man went around Alaska using the child sex registry offenders list, and he found basically registered sex offenders, and he went around Alaska beating them with a hammer. That's why they call him the Alaskan Avenger. Um, Now you guys know this channel has no love for pedophiles at all. But what is interesting to me is this man just came out of prison, and he's probably 2 or 3 months ago, I'd say he came out of prison. This other channel named JD Delay has been helping him in transition and all that. He was out for about a month, and then he was basically threatening people online in his videos, and they locked him back up for like another month, and then he just got out again. But I looked at his last video, he already had like 80,000 views. I was like, wow. But for me, what's crazy is when he came out of prison, he's wearing basically a Masonic necklace, and he's telling all of his viewers to come find the light with him, and one light. And so Christians know Lucifer is the light bearer. So he's telling people to come find Lucifer with him. So I figured we'd go over a little bit of his stuff, and then just show you guys what this guy's up to. So we'll start with a little story of his life. Basically, he's going to give his life story, but then I'm going to show some other videos that are pretty crazy, pretty satanic. So this is him right here. You notice he's got a little, basically some type of shrine behind him. It's all skulls and skeletons. And then he wears the Masonic necklace right here.
Me the Alaskan Avenger in the press a long time ago, and I figured I would take some time today and maybe tell you guys a little bit about my life and my story. So if you see me on here and you see my channel, you get a chance to get to know me, you know what this stuff is all about. I live up here in Anchorage, Alaska. I was born up here in Anchorage, Alaska, and I had an interesting life as a child. I was adopted by a guy that was convicted later of child molestation and abuse and things like that. And I suffered a lot of abuse and childhood trauma at the hands of this guy. And eventually I ended up running away from home when I was 15 years old. Went out and started my life, started doing my thing. Turned into a thief and a liar pretty quick. I think that's some of the...
Which sucks. I'll say I'm sorry you had to go through all that. No child should have to go through that. That's so evil. I mean, I can see why you went around beating people with hammers. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I can see why you did what you did. For me, that's not really the issue here. I mean, of course, it's violent, and I mean, it is what it is. But my issue is, like I said, the Masonic stuff and telling everyone to come find the light and hashtag one light, and we're gonna get into that here. But like I said, it just sucks you had to go through what you went through as a child.
Results of childhood trauma, you know. It really puts this thing in your mindset when they beat you like an animal. It drives into you that you don't have any value, that you're not worth anything. And so you really do adopt that mindset and you start to believe it. And so you behave that way. And that's certainly what I did. So anyway, I started traveling all over the United States. I ran away when I was 15 years old, climbed out the window, and never went back. And traveled all over the country, worked blue-collar jobs. I was also doing credit card fraud during that time. Of course, I started getting high when I was young. That's one of the things we do to mask pain and mask trauma. I started out with weed. I lived in a very weed-centered environment up here in the valley. And this is the part of Alaska that's super known for really great weed for the longest, the Matanuska Thunder.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of men can relate with that. I had those type of issues in my 20s. It wasn't from any type of childhood trauma. It was, I got stabbed in my lung and my lung collapsed. And I was in the hospital in ICU for like 16 days with a chest tube in my side holding my lung up. And when they sent me home with like 400 Norcos with like 5 refills at like 20 years old or something like that. Like what? I don't know what those doctors expect. What you're gonna send a 20-year-old home with basically like 3,000 Norcos? Like had no clue like about how they worked, none of that. And so I took them for like a month because I was really hurting from like my lung collapse, and then I was like, all right, it's time to quit taking them. They don't tell you when you go to quit taking them, your body feels so bad, and then yeah, it took almost like a year to fully get off of them because I was like, I don't want my body feeling all crappy, basically. So I can relate there. Mine wasn't, like I said, childhood trauma. It was getting stabbed in my lung and it collapsing. But that led to basically a pain pill addiction that I had to work on.
Fuck, everybody knows about that. And it worked really good for me to mask my trauma and mask my pain. So I started there. And eventually I progressed on and started using.
Yeah, but what I was bringing that up for is after a while, you definitely start taking them just to mask feelings and stuff for sure. That's 100% true.
Small amounts of methamphetamine. I would snort lines. It was like a working man's enhancement to begin with. And these are just things that damaged my life greatly. And so I sort of took it.
Yeah, I only tried that one time. I was like 22 and I was literally up for like 5 days and I was like, never again. And I never touched that crap again. I was like, no, no, no. It wasn't even fun. It was horrible. It literally was not even fun at all. I remember I was just up for like 5 days and I was seeing like black shapes floating in the air and I could not go to sleep. And I was like, never again. And I never touched that crap again after that. That was a one and done for me.
Upon myself, I had this internal calling or this internal drive to do things as I could, where I could, to help out other people that were victims of this sort of abuse. And so, what that led me to do was to put my hands on people and start tracking them down when I heard about them, and I would take care of the business. And this is not something that I just did in Alaska. It's something that I did in a number of states, a number of times. And I'm not going to get into any of the specifics of that. And I'm not trying to glorify all that type of stuff, but that's really what it was.
Yeah, like I said, he used the sex registry offender list and he was tracking down pedophiles and he was going around to their house and beating them with hammers, basically. That's why they gave him the name the Alaskan Avenger.
And, most states, most places, I would end up moving or leaving, and I would be in a particular state or a particular town, usually not longer than 6 months or maybe a year at a time.
And sorry if you guys hear a bunch of noise in the background. They're remodeling a little food pantry closet there. They ordered a bunch of new shelves and stuff, so you're probably going to hear some drills and stuff in the background. I mean, it is what it is today.
Time. And then I would pack up and travel and move on to the next town. So I lived in Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, California, pretty much everywhere on the West Coast, Salt Lake City, Utah. And every state that I went to, it wouldn't take long for people that had this sort of abuse in their life to gravitate towards me. And then I would get involved in their storyline, or I would get involved in whatever they had going on, and I would do what I do. So after many years of that, I ended up in Bend, Oregon, and it was a real similar situation. And as a result of some of my efforts, I had to sell my home. I had a great business there. I had to sell my home and pack it up. And by then I was an adult. I had 2 children that were 10 and 13 years old, respectively. And I moved back up here to the state of Alaska. And I thought to myself, if there's any state, anywhere I could go, I could probably come back to my hometown, my home state. Everything's going to be all right. And I came back to Alaska and I started doing some blue collar work. I did industrial painting and things like that. And wouldn't you know, before long, here it came again, that old calling. And the thing is, when you're a survivor of childhood abuse, it does not take much. It does not take too much of a push to shove you in that direction to go start handling things in a certain.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that for sure. I could see what he's saying there. I have a family member that happened to, her mom's boyfriend, basically. I'm not going to get too far into it, but it happened to her from her mom's boyfriend, and Basically, she is now a he. So it's definitely trauma that sticks with him for life, 100%.
Certain type of manner, putting your hands on people and stuff like that. And certainly that was the case for me. So eventually, I was arrested for assaulting 3 pedophiles up here in the state of Alaska. One of them with a hammer, and I was given a 23-year prison sentence for doing so. I took a deal. I was initially charged, indicted on 27 felony counts, 9 felonies for each one: robbery, burglary, first-degree assault, second-degree assault, etc. Because a lot of the times I would go into their house and I would smash them out and I would take their stuff. And so I pled out in the end because obviously I was guilty. Everybody knew I was guilty, and I didn't want to walk into a trial and end up with 200 years. And so, kind of the sad part of all of that is,
And then also you see it's all white and black here. The Masonic color is white and black.
again, if you're a little kid and you've been severely traumatized in that manner, and then you grow up to be an adult, as cool as everybody wants to make it sound, and as necessary as it is for there to be deterrence against this sort of.
What's up, whoever tuned in? This guy's name is Jason Vuvicic. They call him the Alaskan Avenger. He basically went around Alaska beating people with hammers that hurt children, but he just got out of prison and he's wearing all these Masonic necklaces, and he's telling all of his followers to come find the light. And you see he already has 50,000 subscribers, and he's only been on YouTube for like a month or two. What's up, Jared? What's up, buddy? But yeah, you see his numbers here. He's been out of prison for a few months. He's already at 50,000. He's got all the shrines back here with skeletons. He wears this Masonic necklace here. And he's telling all of his followers to come find the light, and one light. And we as Christians know the light is Lucifer. So I was just showing all this so people would hopefully see it. But we even see the black and white colors. And then he has the Santa Muerte skull back here. Pretty crazy.
Of abuse in our communities, etc. What happens to the kid that's involved in all of that is you grow up to be an adult and you have a really messed up life, and you make a lot of poor choices, and you do a lot of things that you regret and stuff like that. And then you end up in a penitentiary, and then you basically get placed in solitary confinement mentally, spiritually, as a child, and throughout the whole course of your life. And then you grow up and be.
Yeah, we're going to show here after this video how to me, it's some really satanic stuff. Obviously, I know what the light represents, Lucifer, the light bearer. So you'll see here in a minute, he's telling all of his followers, come find the light with me, and hashtag one light. And yeah, it's crazy.
Be an adult, and then you end up living in a prison, and you're still in confinement.
Yeah, I'm good, Jared. What's up, buddy? Thanks for having me on your show last night. It was a good little live. I enjoyed it.
And that's exactly what happened to me. And so you can see by my body, I'm completely covered with prison tattoos from top to bottom. A lot of people ask me about my tattoos. Is it gang stuff? Is it Masonic stuff? Is it religious stuff? The fact of the matter is, when you are sitting there with a single needle gun drilling on your skin wherever it's at, the physical pain is so intense and is so immediate that you don't feel any emotional pain whatsoever. I didn't miss anybody. My heart didn't hurt at all. And I just felt the physical pain in the moment. So for those 400 or 500.
I tend to notice most men that are fully tattooed, face, body, all of this just fully tattooed out. It's because at some point in their life they were meant to feel emasculated, and so they cover up their outside with all these tattoos. I mean, that's just an observation I've made, but I think it's definitely true.
100 hours of that single needle work, my heart didn't hurt at all. So that's
like, if you look at all like these rappers and celebrities, they'll be so like innocent looking when they go in, and then like 2 years later they're just fully covered in tattoos and stuff. For me, I read deeper into stuff basically.
Some of the answer to the extensive amount of tattoos, and I don't know if everybody out there sees it that way, but that's what it was for me. So And yeah, there definitely is a whole bunch of significance to my work. Like I don't have anything on my body that doesn't have some sort of particular meaning to me. So
Yeah, like right here, he's got 3 pyramids inside the basically like a what you call it, the occult symbol. He's got 3 pyramids there. He's got all kinds of stuff.
anyway, so I went to Spring Creek Correctional Center first. I did about 6 or 7 years out there, which is a maximum security joint. It's kind of an interesting part of the storyline because I was never maximum security with even with my convictions. And mind you, this is now my 10th, 11th, 13th, 14th felony convictions in my life. So I had a lot of
Yeah, but I mean, you go around beating people with a hammer. I mean, that's probably gonna do it, buddy.
convictions, but I was still medium custody just because of the points and my age and everything else. Institutional conduct, by the time I was sentenced, it took, like 2 years I sat in pretrial waiting. And so, but they sent me to the max joint anyway. They probably figured, like, oh no, this dude, he needs to go to the max joint. So I went out there. And surprisingly, I met a lot of good people while I was out there. I hung out with the old heads, guys doing life sentences. I continued down my path because kind of coinciding with all of my criminal and ruffian behavior, surprisingly, I also am something of a spiritualist. And it's something that I hold really dear to my heart and it's really important to me. So um, I got to study with Sufi masters, Asatru masters, Hermetic science, Masonry. We started a clan.
Yeah, and I've gone over when he's saying hermetic, I've gone over the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. It's basically another satanic group. Um, it's a lot to get into with that. You guys can check out my Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn series, but it all ties in with Masonry and the New Age and the occult and all that.
Clandestine lodge and studied the old traditions for a number of years. And I really advanced myself spiritually during those years. So it was a good time. I did a ton of sweats with the native elders out there, warrior sweats, over 100 of them, got my pipe from those guys. And it was a really cool thing. And it's really blessed my life going forward. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about other spiritual traditions and things like that. And it's been a real benefit to me. So during those years too, we had a really cool, really progressive warden. Shout out to Bill Lipinskis. He was a great guy. He let us do a lot of things. I was on the Restorative Justice Committee, editor of a newsletter. I was a reentry mentor. And
Yeah, see, for me personally, I've never been to prison and I'm never going to go. But just from the things I've seen and read over the years, I think they need to completely re, basically redo how prisons are. I mean, nobody's getting reformed in there. They're not coming out better. They're basically going in and basically learning how to create like be better criminals. Basically, is what prison is. I think they could need to completely basically reform what prisons are in America, though. I mean, I don't think they really do any good. I mean, yeah, they do good in the sense that they keep like the more dangerous like people off the streets, but it's not really helping them when they come out. So I think they need to completely look at the whole system and basically redo it from the inside out, I think.
a mod that we started, I became a level 1, level 2 educated substance abuse counselor. Um, I just used the time to complete as many classes and do as much stuff as I possibly could. Also made some bad choices during that time. Also got blamed a few times and thrown in the hole, but I really think that's part of this long learning curve that we go through when we're addicts and we're covering up trauma and stuff like that. Certainly that was the case for me. Took me a long time to learn that lesson. I've been sober for 3 years now, and I really hold on to that tightly. And recently, too, they sent me back to jail for 30 days. And while I was in there, man, just the intensity
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He got out, and then he was basically threatening some people online, and they arrested him again for it.
of the drug use and what these guys are going through, I cannot tell you how important my sobriety is to me. It's a big deal. So anyway, after Seward, they transferred me finally to a minimum security prison. And surprisingly, I had gotten along so well on the max joint. The guys there know how to conduct themselves. If you got respect, you get respect. There's a code of conduct. Everybody abides by it. It's really official. And it wasn't until I went to the medium yard, and in Alaska, it's crazy. They sent me to Goose Creek Correctional Center. And you know how they do it there? They mix guys that haven't been sentenced yet with guys that are serving prison sentences. And honestly, I don't even know if that's legal. I think that there's something to that. Who knows? But to go 7 years into your bid and get transferred to a yard and have to sell up and live around guys that just got arrested and are just coming through, they're coming down off of their dope and doing what they're doing.
Yeah, I would imagine it makes them targets for the people that have been in there for years and they know how to hustle them easier.
Man, that was a really rough transition. I didn't really like that time there at all. But I made it. I survived. Eventually, I made it to minimum custody, and they sent me out to Point Mac, which is a work farm. And I worked on the livestock crew, and that was a really good time. Shout out to the guys out there, man. That's good staff, good people out of Point Mac. And then I was fortunate enough to be approved to do the last 3 years of my prison sentence, which I'm doing now, on ankle monitors, sentenced in the community. The state of Alaska has that program, so you can finish out the last portion of your sentence out in the community, and that's what I'm doing now. So here I sit, and I've been able. JD Delay, love you, bro. Pretty big YouTuber, came up here.
Yeah, JD Delay, who I was talking about earlier, his buddy, he's got, I think, like 1,000,000 something subscribers. He's a really big channel. I mean, he seems like a cool guy, but I don't know. He's always talking about too much like gay prison sex stories. For me, it's just, I don't know, not for me.
Here, put me on the creator game, taught me how to do it, showed me some little tips and tricks and things like that. And I've had a big community of people come around to support me in this process. And it's just important for me to communicate to you guys. Like, people see little short hits online and they don't have any idea where you come from or what you've been through. And I'm telling you right now, it's the same way when I interact with state employees or DOC staff or whatever. I don't really think they conceive of what you've been through or where you came from. They just see you in the moment. And so, you know, being harshly judged for some of my choices and things like that, I understand it, but you got to understand the effects of a human being when you were raised the way I was raised. That stuff lasts with you your whole life. And there are things that you have to actively work on the day.
But you can see this is literally some type of shrine he's got set up back here. He's got another one somewhere in the room too that he lights candles and stuff too. It's weird. It's just a weird shrine to have.
Daily. And I work on those things on the daily. There was a whole lot of stuff in the press. A lot of people called me a hero and they had all kind of names and stuff for me. And I'm here to tell you unequivocally, I'm absolutely no hero. Never thought of myself as a hero. The things that I went and did, I did for really personal reasons that were dear to my heart. And for better or for worse, that's why I did it. And so I want to make that clear too while I'm talking to you guys and giving you a little bit of insight. I'm definitely not a hero, not at all. I pretty much was able to do something. When I was a little kid, I wish some tattooed up badass would have kicked the door in and beat the brakes off the guy that was molesting me. And that's really how I thought of it when I was out there in action. That's genuinely what I thought of. I thought when I was a little kid, man, I would have loved this. I would have given a cheer. And so I really took it to be a privilege to be able to do that for some other little kids. And that's what was in my mind. And that was literally what was in my heart while I was doing that stuff. So, again, unequivocally, it's not behavior that I'll ever do again. I can assure you of that. That's never going to happen again. So, but now it's time to move forward, and I want to help out other people that are in this situation. If you're a survivor of child abuse, I've started a business, Alaska Hardcore Recovery. I'm doing recovery services, recovery.
I mean, the recovery business it's a really shady business, and a lot of those places, they're crooks straight up. They're like there to take money from people. I've seen it like firsthand when we used to donate, go to like all the local supermarkets like Winco and stuff, because they would always throw out bread when it had passed like a certain date, but the bread was perfectly fine. So we would go collect all the bread from the different stores and take them to like a bunch of recovery houses and stuff. But A lot of those places are wild. Those recovery houses, they're just wild places. A lot of them are just scams and rip people off too. But now we're gonna get into some of the weird videos of him telling people to come find the light and promoting the light, which we know is Lucifer. So we'll get into some of those videos. I think this was when he got out of jail like a month ago. But you see the Baphomet tattoo right here?
Swear to God, you gotta wash the smell of jail off you when you come out of that place, man. It's horrible. But you know what? We're back out, baby. We made
Right there. You see the Baphomet hand sign he throws up?
out, baby. We made it. It was 30 days. Sit down.
And you see the Masonic necklace he's wearing right here?
Got to get a hold of myself.
The square and compass, basically, the Masonic necklace.
I get too excited when I talk about certain type of cases. You guys know this about me. So I got to calm down, have new rules, operating conditions. So everybody be prepared. Y'all know me, these t-shirts, this gear. I understand that I'm prohibited from wearing, displaying, or using or possessing any insignia, emblem, button, badge, cap, cat, scarf, bandana, which might glorify, endorse, support, or depict violence, physical harm, vengeance, or retribution against any individuals who convicted of sex offenses.
Yeah, he's talking about JD Delay's merchandise. There's shirts and hats that say make pedophiles afraid again. It's actually pretty funny.
Against persons under the age of 18. So no more banging on pedophiles.
Well, like I said, I don't agree with violence, guys. It's weird. I go and I'll go and watch his lives and stuff, and it gives me like cult vibes. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, people literally look at him like a hero because he went around beating them with hammers. Like I said, this channel has no love lost for pedophiles, but I'm not a man of violence either. And yeah, his whole lives and all that are just weird. It's all like a lot of women, and they look at him like women look at serial killers. It's like a whole big fan group of women. It's weird. It's like a cult mentality almost. That's the feeling I get inside his lives and stuff.
This is the whole thing. I can't do that anymore. I have to be good. Thank you, DOC, for letting me be free, live my life. I appreciate that. So, with all that being said, when you get out of prison, let's look at my fridge. Damn, that shit is popping. They put you on 24 lockdown. How are you supposed to eat? Let's check out the freezer. Damn, that shit is popping too. So now I'm here. I'm back. Y'all get ready. There's going to be content flying at all times. You know what I mean? Many thanks too for all the people that supported me this whole time. Like, I have a long list of names. I won't get into it right now, but y'all have been awesome. And everybody get ready. Look, I haven't even got to shave my face, and I'm out here letting you guys know what time it is. I'm back. I'm going to rinse myself off. Tomorrow's a new day. We're going to get the equipment. We'll get shit popping again. You guys know what it is, and I love you. Thanks for all your support, everybody who's been there for me. I'm sorry I don't look more handsome, more beautiful, but it is what it is. Fresh out the prison. And I'm going to tell you guys all type of shit that I encountered while I was there. The stuff that they're doing in jail nowadays is wild. I'm telling you. Little things, knocking them out. All
right, so we saw the hand symbolism. We see the necklace. This one right here, this one's weird right here.
Listen to this.
So this is him like listening to a Jelly Roll song, but the comments he writes on the background are strange.
Look, Rolly, man, I got to be honest with you. I never even really fucked with your music at all. And it was this one right here, man.
Like right there, he said he is self-aware.
That got me. You know why? You know why?
Another Baphomet hand sign. So when that hand sign right there is pointed towards someone, it's used to try to put a curse on them when you point it at somebody.
There's a monster under my bed, and at my window there's a dragon. I accepted the challenge.
His memory was deleted.
I broke a promise to myself again. I don't know why.
And yet the old ones were calling. Like, what? That's so weird. And yet the old ones were calling. Who? The fallen angels? That's who I've heard called the old ones before. The Watchers or the fallen angels. So weird.
They try to help, but I won't let them in. I guess rock bottom's where I'm comfortable. My feet planted when most people.
Many were calling his name.
I found beauty in what was damaged. I'm not afraid of the boogeyman. Instead, I look at him like
a desire for chaos in their hearts. Like, this is so strange. And then you see he has skulls and like little shrines everywhere.
There's not a monster out there in the world. The scarier than the one that's within. There's a creature in my closet.
Yet with humility in his heart.
The demons screaming in the distance. They make such a humbling sound. The monster that's outside my window. 'Cause they're like.
He summoned his brothers. Huh?
Family to me now. You know what? They never let me down. I say this no, but I'm hated so.
They came to destroy.
They say I'm the biggest beast and that I made it grow. When I spray this flow, I created more. Creatures are like when I heat up the mic, I'm a breather that light, but I'm breathing though. Like the darkness, I'm blinded, a spark didn't shine, did they find it? 'Cause mine is whoa.
And yet he who had been enslaved. Like, is it just, am I tripping or is this weird, guys? I don't know what he's writing. It's weird. He picks up a bowl with sage in it. They try to act like sage is good and it wards off demons. Yeah. Don't believe that lie, guys.
You will not believe the creature inside me. If you deceive, can leave us alive. We disagree when people defy me. Or try to take his. Whatever the fucking report on you don't want to break this.
Had the heart of a servant.
Say kids with a straight grid and it's open no matter what your faith is. I'm a creature. There's a creature in my closet. I can hear him roaming around. The demons screaming in the distance. Create such a humbling sound. The monster that's outside
That which they did not give him.
my window is like family to me now. The things that people are afraid of never let me down. Yeah, I managed to get myself in trouble all of this pain. Yeah, I'm down in the dose of liquor's always to blame. I can keep myself sober, I keep my hands to myself. I take a shot and it's over, that's how I end up in hell. I hope I don't pass down to my offspring. They get everything from their daddy for like I'm
Back to the Baphomet or the hook 'em horns hand sign. If he could raise his frequency, imagine that.
Now I'm stuck in my ways, back at the bar now. They say I'm a veterinary, I ain't a guy. So when I'm thirsty and burning and purposely searching for something that's hurting me so I just get back up and go. I just back out of the show, that's how it go. I got the back of the hole, when next like I don't know. I can't be laughing at me, hands be grabbing at me, feel like God.
Then even the oldest of demons.
I think I better let it go. Better I gotta let it go. I can't do that. There's a creature in my closet. I can hear him rumbling around. The demon screaming.
Could master the alchemy of the ancients.
In the distance,
This guy's literally leading people to Satan.
it's such a humbling sound. The monster that's outside my window. They're like family to me now.
Throws up a 7.
These demons, they never.
Bringing his brothers into the light, aka Lucifer.
Let me down. And with that song, you let me know that other demons made it and turned into something good.
What's that say? Witchcraft, alchemy, magic, sorcery, divination with a Masonic square and compass and the Baphomet symbol in the middle. Wow. Crazy. This guy has 50,000 people watching him being led to Lucifer.
So listen, me and my homeboys, we're getting sick and tired of this scourge that this fentanyl shit is bringing on this country.
This exclusive video shows Jacqueline Powers led away in handcuffs from her Overland home on
Sad.
Echo Lane Friday afternoon. Police say her 14-year-old daughter died in October.
Oh, what do you know right there, guys? You see that? We all know what that is lately from the Free Gracers. Their Free Grace beard scratch, we call it. What are the odds this guy right here, a Mason, openly a Mason, is scratching his beard, guys? Pretty interesting.
Lab work recently determined the teen ingested fentanyl.
This is tragic. This shouldn't happen. She's 14. She had a lot of years to look forward to.
Court documents indicate the teen had a toothache and Powers tried children's Tylenol. When that didn't work, she gave her daughter a pill.
There it was again.
Are a mother or a parent and you have children, you need to inform them about these blue pills and the poison that's in it. It's a war. It's for the sake of destroying our culture. So moms and dads, educate your kids.
Pyramid.
Pressed pills.
The 666 hand sign.
Pressed pills from the dark web, off the internet, from your homeboys. They will kill you. They will stop your progress. They will stop your success. You heard it from me, the Alaskan Avenger, and that shit is truth.
But yeah, guys, there's so many more videos literally just like this one of him. Yeah. I'm making this video so if any Christians see it that watch him, they'll realize what he's trying to do to you guys. He's literally trying to lead you guys to Lucifer. That's what the light is, the light bearer, Lucifer. My recommendation, if any Christians watch him, I would quit watching this man. He's Masonic. He's putting it out there in front of your faces. He's telling you to come find Lucifer with him, guys. So I would avoid people like this at all costs. Yeah, I just wanted to make the video to put it out there. So if anybody does watch him, and you guys didn't know what was going on in the videos, now you do. All right, guys. God bless. Have a good one.